Is a selfie worth dying for? Join me and find out. Roll credits. Well, hi YouTube, Brian James at Michael 4/3 guy with you once again. I've got my little friends in the back. You can see one of them. You can see Alfie there, who's just moving when he's somewhere around behind us, but I'm not totally sure where. But I've just been prompted after reading an article. I read an article from 2021, and there was it was online and there was an update piece about it. And the one from 2021 was in the Sun newspaper in the UK. And it was saying how 330 people to that time had died in accidents caused by taking selfies. Now, selfies are the new in craze, the new in thing to do, but 330 deaths is quite a lot, and the update was saying that it was over 400 now. So 400 plus people losing their lives to take a selfie. And that prompts me to start questioning what the motives and why this is. I mean, we all like selfies, we all like to take photos and send them to our friends. But people are being electrocuted, they're falling off buildings, they're drowning, they're doing all sorts of horrendous things just to get a selfie in an unusual position. And you've got to get to the point of asking yourself, is this a wise move? Now, I think the obvious answer to that is if you're going to die from it, then no. But what's the obsession for people trying to take selfies in the first place, and also take selfies in the most dangerous of circumstances without thinking about the risks that they're taking? What is it that prompts somebody to go into a dangerous situation without even thinking, get their phone out, because invariably it's not cameras, it's phones with cameras on them, get the phone out and take a selfie in somewhere really dangerous? Now, don't get me wrong, I can understand the situation with taking selfies. I can understand in this new modern age with social media, with Instagram, Facebook and all the other bits and pieces as to why people do take photographs. But something has been drummed into me from the very earliest days as a photographer. And in fact, not just photography, but all the other things I've been involved in. Electronics, as an electronics engineer. When I was in the military, anything I was doing in the military, especially on things like firing ranges, it was always a case that safety was paramount. And before you actually did the main task, you had to make sure you were safe. Because, again, in the military, if you're not safe to do what you want to do, then you can't complete the task. If you're unable to do it because you've killed yourself or because you become disabled or maimed, you can't complete the primary task. And the same goes with the selfie. If you are going to put yourself at risk, then nobody's going to see that selfie anyway. You've just taken it beyond the limits. But it seems a lot of people don't think about what they're doing in advance. They don't risk assess. Now, there is a big problem these days because of risk assessments. People think it's just health and safety gone mad, and a lot of the time so do I. But that's this formalized thing of writing everything down for the risk assessment. Sometimes, and we all have to do it, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we don't have to do it, but sometimes it gets a bit of a burden. But from the very earliest days, I've done risk assessments. I've done dynamic risk assessments whenever I'm doing a task. I still do them this day. I look at the dangers. I'm a qualified first aid instructor and assessor, and one of the first things you do in first aid is assess the dangers, both to yourself and to the possible patient. And that, to me, is paramount in everything we do. We look at the dangers and we assess the dangers, and we assess how we're going to work around them. Now, there are some really tragic stories online with people who've been on the edge of cliff faces and fallen over to some horrible deaths there. To the most recent one I heard, which was really horrendous, where somebody was struck and killed by a rotating helicopter blade because they'd got out of the helicopter, still within the radius of the rotor blades, and they were taking photographs. And to me, that is just the most insane thing, to lose your life when you've just completed a flight, to then lose it by being hit by the rotor blade because you're busy taking a photograph rather than concentrating on that. So what do you think? Do you think a selfie is worth it? Have you come across anyone who's been injured or even killed by taking selfies? And is a selfie something which you consider so important that you would risk life and limb to take it? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested, because this article really saddened me. Because also, I did an article, I did a video, I'll see if I can find it. If I can find it, I'll stick a link above. But I did a video a little while ago about health and safety when you're taking photographs. And it's the very thing that I was talking about then, which seems to be coming to light now. But 400 people have lost their lives in accidents taking a photograph of themselves. Unbelievable. Till the next time, this is Brian James at Micro Four Thirds, guys, saying bye-bye. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Give me a big thumbs up if you would. And if you want to support the channel, there's a PayPal link to leave me a cup of coffee. All the best. Bye-bye.